Good afternoon, everybody. Everybody knows me, but I am Mike Sheehan, Director of Facility Management, and this is my my wife. She's also my handler, my manager.
Yeah, I got that right.
This is Lisa.
Yes,
So,
his wife. I don't know how many years we've been married.
34.
Well, we've been married 34 years,
But
so.
been together for 41.
Yes, so.
She waited
Everyone
patiently.
hear me? Yes. Hold it close. Hold it close, okay.
So what we're going to talk about today is our experience with hosting exchange students from around the world. And we'll tell you why we got into it. And I'm being pointed at.
Mine's not working.
Sorry.
I'm just not holding it right. Okay, hold it closer.
And part of it, the reason why we kept going was because once our kids grew up, moved out of the house, we had 3 bedrooms upstairs that weren't being used. And I did a sermon about how wealthy we are. And people say, oh, I'm not wealthy. It's like, well, you have a bed that's not being used, or you have a car that's not being used all the time, and that's considered wealth. And so we share it. So from my own sermon, I realized that we needed to continue doing it. So that's why we're up to 10.
Yeah.
So tell them how we got started.
We got started, we went to a graduation party, and one of the girls there was my daughter's friend, and she had just sent her exchange student home, and we were asking all kinds of questions about it. And she said, hey, why don't I just hook you up with our coordinator? We go through an agency, and the coordinator comes in and inspects your home, and they touch base with you every month, and they talk to the kids too to make sure that everything is going good.
And of course, I came up with every excuse why we couldn't, because at the time, all 3 kids were at home, except for one was in college, and she said,
yeah, she had just left for college the year before, and she says, hey, my room's empty. I want you to do this. So she said, go ahead and do it. So we didn't have any.
I said, what about when you come home for holidays? And she said she'd sleep in the basement. So she's actually the one that pushed us. And this is what our family looks like without the kids. Okay. This was for our middle one right there. That was her wedding. And this is everybody in the family. However, we started off with
a boy, because we have 2 girls and the son, a boy. So we thought, well, we'll even things up and get a boy, so we'll have 2 and 2.
What I did was I kind of jumped, but when they come, we have a flag for every country, and we welcome them, and the whole family welcomes them. So you can see we all gather around, except for there was a couple there where we didn't, because it was really cold out and the kids didn't want to. So we fly their flag, we get our picture taken with them, and the entire family welcomes them.
Well, first of all, you have to decide if you want a girl or a boy. And for us, our first one, we didn't care what country.
We didn't get a choice.
We went late in the game, too. And so they said, well, the only ones we have left are the Asian boys. So that's how we wound up with our first one. But typically, you have to decide if you want a girl or a boy. And then they send over applications. You're not allowed to see what they look like until you've been background checked. So you read their applications, and if they fit pretty much with your family lifestyle, that's the ones you want to go with.
So our first one was Danny from Vietnam, and I said, let's think outside the box. Vietnam is kind of a country that we didn't know anything about.
Right. And it was a third world country, and I thought, well, give him an opportunity to see at least part of America, Indiana. And so he came like 2 days before school started.
Yes, and we didn't have, that was before they had we saw a little bit on Facebook, but you didn't have all of the media that you have now. And this picture here is the dangers that you have in our house is we will pick up everybody's phone and take our picture. And he took one, and this was the only one that I had that was good. And unfortunately, he was making a face at me. So Danny was there. He was our first one, 2012 to 2013.
Yes. He was a senior. They always put him in the junior class because it messes with the graduation rates in the high schools. So they put him in a junior class with senior privilege. So our daughter at the time was a senior. So they both graduated together.
So Danny was kind of fun. He was all about sports, and he tried out every sports. And he said he did soccer, which he played in Vietnam. And then he says, I'm going to play basketball because I am good at basketball back at Vietnam. But then when he got there, he goes, I was tall for my class, but he goes, these boys are really tall.
Yeah.
Danny was only about like this. So he was at a disadvantage. Learned a lot from him, being our first one.
Yeah, they come over. Some know English better than others. He was kind of low.
He was good at written.
Yeah. So by the end of the year, they're very fluent. So they pick up really quick the English language.
The first word I teach them is y'all. All y'all here, you know. So that's, you know, we try to teach them, and then I play with them and mess with their speech a little bit.
Yeah. But
so then after Danny, we took a break.
They're either 5-month student or 10-month student, and we tend to go with the 10-month student. But
we've had some fun.
He was here for 10 months.
And his parents did not speak any English, and you had to use your phone, so we didn't get to talk to him because it's very expensive to call Vietnam. But then after Danny, we sent our son to the Academy of Math, Science, and Humanities at Ball State. And so we were concentrating on his education. And then after that, we had 2 other exchange students from Oklahoma, and that was Lisa's.
Yeah, my parents moved in. So they were with us for 2 years. So we took a break with hosting kids.
So after they left, and we had some repairs to do on the house, we did start hosting again in 2019. And we had brought in Marta.
The red dress is
She's
Marta.
in the red dress. She was from Spain. And this is something that I learned. I says, I'll get the Spanish flag. And I showed it to her. She goes, I am not Spanish. I am Catalonian. And it's like, okay, do you have a flag? And we have a Catalonian flag. It's yellow and red or orange stripes.
Yes. Well, Marta was our 10-month student, but then we decided in January we would pick out another student, and Marta would help us pick out another student. So we got Marina from Brazil.
Marina.
And they got along pretty well.
Yep, and we found that we really liked the Brazilian people.
And this was during COVID. So Marina came in January, and didn't COVID hit in March? Right. Everything shut down. So she only got 2 months of school before things shut down. But she had already graduated in her home country. So she got 2 months of American school, and she was okay with that. She was okay with staying home with Dad and I.
We made sure she had fun. And
they all call us Mom and Dad. So
yeah, when they come, because the Mom and Dad in their language is not Mom and Dad. So it's very easy for them, but then they ended up being just like our own kids. Like Marina says that she wants me to walk her down the aisle halfway down and then pass her off to her real dad. But we had, with Marta, we had our son was still there at the house. And then in October, he left and went out on his own. And we asked her, says, how are you doing? Would you like a host sibling? And she goes, oh, I would. Because who wants to spend all this time with a couple old people, right? So that's when we got Marina. So then after that, we had 2 others. We got Maria.
She was Catalonian as well.
Maria was Catalonian, and they're from Barcelona. And this is Maria. Uh-huh. And this is Jackie from Italy. And Jackie is actually African-American Italian. Her grandmother was African-American. She was a jazz singer that moved to Italy and got married, had kids, and then her son married an Italian, and they had Jackie. Jackie is one I got to tell you.
Yeah.
She is the calmest, easiest going person I ever met. They said that those that are like that live longer.
Yes.
She's going to be 1,000 years old.
And you'd always have to tell her about a half an hour before it was time to go because she was always late.
We had real world time, and then we had Jackie time. And if we needed to leave at 9:30, we would tell them
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
Yeah. Yes.
But you could say, Jackie, I ate your ice cream and it was good, and you don't get any. She'd say, okay. So easygoing, you can't help but love her, you know. But Maria ended up having some issues.
Yeah.
She really shouldn't have been in the program. We found out after she left, she was hiding in the girls' bathroom during, social times. And so she ended up leaving early. She only spent 1 semester with us. And because of that, though, we got, and some of you had met, Hannah. So, and as you can see, the girls, all the kids get along well together. And you can see how happy that the both of them are.
Hannah was our youngest student. She was
Yeah.
just turned 15 when she came. And on her paperwork, it stated they wanted her in the sophomore class. And she came in January, and unbeknownst to us, she was staying through the summer.
Yeah, we didn't know. We were kind of greenhorns, and we said, wait a minute, you're going to be here for a year? What do you do during the summer? And she goes, I have to find a place to live or go back to Korea. And so we talked, we said, would you like to spend the summer with us? And she said, of course she would. And she was our only 12-month student.
Mm-hmm.
And so when that happens, they are like one of the family. So when we went on vacation, she went on vacation. And Jackie, so we went to Branson for spring break. We went, where'd we go? Savannah, Charleston,
Georgia, yeah.
During the summer. And she was right there with us, with the family. And they become one of ours. And then Jackie went back home then in June, and right now she's in college in Italy. She was originally from Milano, but then she moved over to
way down south in Italy.
Over next to the Baltic. Anybody here anyway, she was moved east. So then after Jackie left, we got Liv. Liv is from Germany. She's from Frankfurt, Germany. And I got to tell you, all these kids have interesting backgrounds. We found out when we got Hannah. Then we were reading the paperwork. It said that her father was vice president of Hyundai. Hyundai, Korean? Mm-hmm. And I thought, oh no, we've got a princess. She's going to be spoiled, and we're going to have our hands full. And it was exactly the opposite. They're very hard on their kids there in Korea. Yeah. Liv, from Germany, both of her parents worked for Lufthansa. Her dad is a pilot, and her mom, I wasn't sure what she did. And when she was on her way over, you could watch the planes, the flight path. And I texted her mom, and we know their parents and their families, and we're like relatives now.
Yeah, it works out better that way if we get to know the family too. So
I said to her mom, it's strange. She went way up north over around Iceland on her way over and didn't come straight. And she goes, I wonder why. And she says, it's strange, you should ask. I developed the program that determines where the plane goes. And she explained to me that countries have tolls for airplanes. If you go over their airspace, you have to pay toll to them. And you have wind currents and you have all of that. So that's why they don't go straight. And she was able to tell me that. And I thought that was pretty cool. But we had Liv. Liv and Hannah, you could tell they didn't get along very well together, right? They're like sisters. Yeah. And they consider our kids their siblings.
Any new ones we bring in, they all get to know each other.
I think, Marta was very protective of us. And she was very upset when she heard that Maria was giving us a hard time, and she says, you better leave the parents alone, so they take care, and they know each other, even though they've never met.
Well, right now, Liv, she needed help. Her brother is in college, and he's going to go to Spain for college, and he needed a place to stay. And so they contacted Marta to help find an apartment for him.
Just so happens he's going to be studying in Barcelona. And so Marta and Liv's brother, Jan,
Yeah.
is going to be meeting up. And then so Liv will finally get to meet Marta here shortly sometime. So then Hannah's time, she left in December 18th, flew home to Korea, and reapplied for a new visa. All the kids that come are under a J1, and
J1 is just for them to be in high school.
It's
as a cultural exchange. Now, if they want to stay here for college or for permanent schooling, they need to apply for another type of visa, which is an F1 visa. So that's what Hannah had to do. She had to go home and reapply for a different visa, F1. So that means as long as she's in school somewhere, she's allowed to stay.
Yep. So then we ask Liv, do you want an exchange sibling? She goes, of course I do. You know, they're right across the hall, and it's like, all right, do you want a brother or a sister? She goes, I miss my brothers, because Liv had an older brother and a younger brother. It's like, okay. And so Liv and Hannah actually helped us pick out the next one. You know, we go through and we read, you know, they have a story. They tell you about themselves. Yes. The parents will tell you about their kids. We can see their grades. We can see
how well fluent they are in English. Some of them come with a video. So
I should have had the videos on it. Yeah, Hannah hated her video because she goes, oh, it's so embarrassing. I should have showed it
to you. But they
you.
Applied to the program a year before they actually get here. So they look a little bit different when we see them. They've matured a little bit. So
they ended up picking Matteo. Matteo's in the middle. I called him the Italian stallion because does he not look like Dean Martin? You know?
He was a sweet kid.
But this was a special year.
Yeah.
Tell them about, we had Liv and then we got Matteo.
Okay, well, our kids are in North Miami schools. And Aaliyah, there in the red dress, she wasn't getting along with her host family. And we could tell she would come over visit, and we could tell she was a decent girl. I mean, she was very sweet. And it got to the point where the host family kicked her out, and the coordinator had to come and get her.
And you're only allowed to have 2 kids at a time.
Yes. And they have to be from different countries. But anyway, she got in hold of us through Liv, and her natural family was calling us because Liv could translate, and they were asking for help. Can you please help? They were sending her to Pennsylvania.
Yeah, they wanted to
send. Well, that's not how it works. If you don't get along with your family, they find another host family in the school district. That way, they're already connected with the school, so that way they don't have to move schools. They just move families.
So anyway, Leah is officially our exchange granddaughter. Our daughter took her and took care of her. But the 3 got along really well. Matteo didn't talk. And it wasn't because he didn't know English. He was just quiet. And I got to tell you, all the girls loved Matteo. And on graduation, we had girls crying, you know, hugging him and crying. And on the way somewhere, I talked to him. I said, Matteo, I said, you had a way with the girls here. He goes, yes, Dad. And I said, was it like that in Italy? He said, nope. And I said, you know, it's going to be different when you go back. And he just grinned from ear to ear. He goes, yes. So, but he got along really well. He liked to cook. And they all write down that they like to cook and they can't wait, but
they get so busy at school, we don't ever get a meal.
Yeah, I was anxious for Liv because some of the cakes that she would send us pictures of, they were awesome, but never made one while she was here. So then the 3 of those went back, and we had to take a break because we renovated the kitchen, and we wanted to host chicken and noodles and all kinds of things. So we waited, but then we have right now Cha-Cha from Thailand.
the blinking one.
Yep. And Mai is from France. Cha-Cha's from Tak, which is kind of like northern Thailand. Mai's from Versailles, which is just west of Paris. And they're two awesome, and they get along like
no other.
it's
They'll be always connected.
yep.
They just act like siblings already.
And they're all continue talking. So, and we feel, and they still all call us mom and dad, and we love it. So then it's one big family, and you can see where it's not just us. You know, over here, that is Liv and Aaliyah with our grandkids. This was with Danny, and all the kids are out there. Danny's first time in snow.
Yeah.
This was when we welcomed Marina to the family. This was when we were in the Smoky Mountains, and you can see there's Mateo, Liv, Aaliyah, and with the whole family.
Yeah.
Marta.
13 there at Gatlinburg.
Hannah, and this was in the Smoky Mountains with Danny. And so they come in there and they become part of our family, and it never stops. You know, when we first got married, I said, I want 5 kids. I came from a smaller family. We had our first daughter, and I said, well, so we had our second one. It's like, yeah, I think I'm done. And then we had Craig, the third one. I said, we're done. I can't take any more. But then we found a way to increase our family. Mm-hmm. And then here they are. There's some more. You can see where the kids have fun with each other. Beth was playing around with Marina. The grandkids grow up with them. And so they all know about international. But it doesn't stop there. We also meet all of their friends, and they migrate
international students too.
to other national students. So like this one here, that was Marta and Michelle. Michelle was from Mexico. Mm-hmm. This was Marina with Hagina.
Oh, yeah. Regina.
And interesting thing there is Marina was from southern Brazil. She was from Porto Alegre, which is south of the Amazon quite a ways. And Hagina was from northern Brazil, which is north of the Amazon. And the northerners think that the southerners are kind of a lower class. But they found out, and they got along really well together, and they found out that's not the case. Right here, we hosted out at the farm.
Any exchange students that wanted to come, we just left it open, and I think there was 13 there.
13 total I have. And in this picture, there's the young lady, she was from Italy, that's Liv. But there was a young man there from Russia.
Yeah, he's in the gold shirt in the middle.
Gold shirt in the middle. See, Lisa's got the memory.
Yeah.
He's got an awesome story. Just to get here, he had to travel to another country with just his passport, his papers, a little bit of money, because the U.S. and Russia was not getting along well at the time, and there was no U.S. embassy at the time.
Yeah, he got his passport, and away he went. He didn't stop.
Yeah, and so he had to, basically on foot by using train, went to, I'm not sure, was it Latvia or somewhere?
Yeah, I don't remember what country he went to, but.
Yep, and he got the U.S. embassy there, and he managed to get to the U.S., and it took him 2 or 3 days. He came with just the clothes that he was wearing. There was a young man from the Ukraine, or a young lady, and she's still here.
She's still here, yes. She goes to Tippy Valley schools.
So we had lots of international students there. We have this one. This was Aaliyah, Hannah, Liv, and that's Anna. Anna's from Denmark. So we've gotten to meet her. This was a birthday party for Marta. She was a princess. And Michelle. Paulina from Germany. And Marina. And there was another girl. I can't remember.
They were American.
This is Mina. And Mina came over, spent the night with Hannah, and Hannah didn't know what to do because in Korea, her job was to study, and that's all she did. She did not know how to socialize. She didn't know how to do anything but hold a book or hold a tablet. And so when they came over, she just sat there and was clueless. So what I did was they came out to my workshop, and I said, would you like to build something? And so I showed her how to do a little bit of art. And I let her pick out the pattern and pick out the paints, and she operated the nail gun, and that's what she ended up doing. Very nice young lady from Korea. And then over here.
Do they drive?
They're not allowed to.
They
no.
cannot drive? Oh, and I should have told you, anytime you have a question, ask.
Yeah.
Okay? They cannot drive. They cannot shoot a gun, hold a gun. They're not supposed to use a lawnmower. They can't date. What else can't they do? No alcoholic beverages, no smoking,
No tattoos.
no tattoos, nothing that's life-changing.
No flying in non-commercial airplanes.
You're right. Yes.
You said they couldn't date while about the prom.
They can go to the prom, but they can't. Actually, officially, they're not permitted to have a sexual relationship.
Yeah. They can group date.
Yes.
And they dance.
They
Yes.
can, but some of them are pretty funky when they dance if you watch them. But yes.
They can go to dances and
Yeah, and they do.
dance with boys and girls.
And some of the photos we showed you, like Marina and Marta and
Cha-cha, and those were their homecoming
yeah,
dresses.
then the three of them, those were their homecoming or yeah.
Do they get together after they go home?
Some do.
Yes, some do.
Like Liv has been she went down to Munich to visit Aaliyah during
She flew
Oktoberfest.
to Lafayette to see one of the other exchange boys. We had 8 one year at our school.
Yeah,
So-
and so there was what's his name?
Patrick.
Yeah, Patrick was from Latvia, and she went over and visited him.
You're showing us how they come to you as two, but then you show us pictures where there are a bunch of them together.
Right.
How does that happen?
We invite them. You know,
They're at our school as well with other host families.
So they're in this location.
Yep. And so we say, yeah, you could bring whoever you want to the house. Let us know. We've had weenie roast. Teresa,
Who pays their way here?
who pays? That's a good question. Our responsibility is to supply them with
A bed, a desk, a room, their lunch. If they prefer to carry their lunch at school, we'll provide that. If they want to eat the hot lunch at school, they pay for that.
3 meals a day is what we supply.
Yeah. And if we go out to eat, we pay because they're our kids, you know.
Yep. So all we do is we give them a place to live, make sure they're comfortable. They have to have a bathroom, their own bed, and that's what we do. And you may think, well, that's nothing. Well, it does add up when you go out to eat, and especially like some of them, I'm not going to mention Cha-Cha's initials, eat a lot.
Yeah, she's a big eater.
She's a big eater.
She loves her food.
Did most of them come from relatively well-to-do families?
Some of them do, but they also have.
He couldn't hear the question. They couldn't hear.
Oh, they ask if they come from well-off families. We've had most of them. They're professionals.
Yeah, professionals. A lot of them, the grandparents will help in some respect of giving them the money. And one of them, Marina, she cooked brownies and sold them at her school and she made a good chunk of money doing that to help send her here.
I think it was her grandfather. He was a real estate developer down there, and he built a big hotel and everything you could see.
So
Where
the answer is yes.
yeah, somebody in their family is. Yes.
Everywhere, very many U.S. students go to other countries.
Not as many
I
as
haven't heard of many U.S. students
there,
doing.
there are, but not a lot. And they're usually for shorter periods.
What organization did they come through?
There's a lot of organizations.
Right now-
We've gone through 3.
AFS?
That's
I've heard
one,
of-
but we've never used them. We use CIEE right now. We've had ICE and
ICES.
ISE,
ISE, yeah,
ICES, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But there's several out there, and we get, we kind of watch, and they seems like they make money off of it, but.
No, we don't get paid. We do this voluntarily.
So we just welcome them into the family, and so it's like another kid. And then this last photo right here, right there, Lisa and I were minorities.
Yeah.
These were 4 of my coworkers from Mexico. They came and visited, and they spent some time here, so we invited them over so that Mateo and Liv can meet them. And so we like to, we like for them to experience things. So they are exposed to many different.
Yeah. Only one of the gentlemen, I think, knew English well enough.
Yeah.
And he would translate. But Mateo could kind of understand their language a little bit.
Yeah. So what do they experience? For them, you hear them, they say, as soon as they get off the plane and they're going out there, they go, oh, this is so American.
Yeah.
We'll stop at, and do you know what food everybody wants? Double,
Hamburgers.
yeah, bacon double cheeseburgers is the biggest thing.
That's what the first thing they go for.
Marina, you can hear her back there. She'd go, this is so good.
Culver's, that bottom portrait there, that's where we stop.
Yeah, because that one was when we're coming back from Chicago. They usually fly in. We prefer Indianapolis because we're from Indianapolis originally, and we know the airport and everything. But some, like Liv, came through Chicago. We will allow that because she got free tickets because of her parents and Lufthansa doesn't fly to Indianapolis. So some of the things they experience is everything that we experience is new to them. Like right there, that was Liv as she ran cross country. They do not have organized sports in their schools. How do they do it?
They join a community club and do that through their communities, but not connected with the schools and their friends in the school.
Most of them don't spend much time in church, and this is some of the people in my congregation. I got to tell you, we're not the only ones that have this experience. We have people that live the life of the exchange students through us. They invite us over because they want to meet them, and like Larry right here has given, I think, every one of our exchange students an arrowhead or a flint because he's a collector. So they get to know all of these different people. Baseball, right here. When you go up to the drive-in, they'll look around and they say, wow, this is American. I only see this in the movies. I said, well, you're here to see a movie. Trick or treating. Can anybody tell me who that is?
Probably you.
That was Liv and that was Hannah. Hannah had the long black hair and the right complexion. She made an awesome witch. And that is Liv looking through the pumpkin. Hockey, right here. Liv and Hannah took a ride while they were shelling corn. And I told Hannah, I said, Hannah, come on, why don't you go? She goes, I don't want to go on that. And I was like, come on, you could go out there and stand with us. And she got on the combine because we kind of pushed her. And she got done. She goes, oh, that was so fun. I asked Danny, we had corn. I said, how long do you think it would take to harvest all this corn? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
What did he say?
Days, a week.
I don't know, a week, 2 weeks. I said, Danny, it'll be hours. And he came home the next day and the corn was all gone. And he was just totally thrown. Because in the Asian countries, they do everything by hand because their greatest resource is labor. Of course, this right here, pizza out in the parking lot. Anybody ever go to Fire in the Hole there in Warsaw? It's where they have wood-fired pizza. And by the way, that's Hillary and Mallory's cousin. So we'll take them out there to experience eating food everywhere. There's at a festival. Liv tried basketball. Danny, that was at a bowling alley. And then this was senior night. Hannah was in marching band, and Liv, what was Liv been recognized for? Was it for cross
She's
country?
there to support her sister.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
They support each other.
So they want to do everything. I'm ready to calm down, and go home and relax. It's like, Dad, I need to be picked up, or I want to go here, I want to go there. So they keep us
Yeah, we're busy.
busy, but keep us young. And we get to experience some things. And by the way, I'm looking at my shirt there. Oops. I generally show up at the airport looking like this, so I could embarrass them right at the very beginning. We learn a lot too.
Yeah, we do. First, we bring them in the house when we pick them up and we explain the bathroom. Not all of them have a modern bathroom. We got to tell them what goes in the toilet, what can't go in the toilet. We tell them they have to take a shower every day because a lot of them don't do that either. So we explained we wash the clothes. When you need them washed, let me know, or I will teach you how to run the machine. A lot of them don't have that kind of thing at home. So we just take them room to room and explain things.
Language. Anybody know what the language is in Brazil? Portuguese. I didn't really know that. But Portuguese is similar to Spanish, so she was able to talk a little bit. I didn't realize there's Catalonian.
Yeah.
When they come here, they sometimes don't understand us because they learn British English, and then we have an accent compared to somebody out east. And the funniest thing that I love to do is when we go like traveling and we go down south, like we're in the Smoky Mountains, and they had a guy come there to fix something. And I talked to him, I go, oh, you got to talk to the girls. And they talked to him, and the girls would just kind of stare at him like they had no clue what they were saying. Had no clue. And so that's why the ones that did the best are the ones that watch movies.
Yeah.
Because they get, names. Does everybody have a middle name in this world? No. We're one of the few.
Yeah, and their last names, at least in the Spanish culture, have the dad's last name and the mother's last name, and it's kind of confusing.
And I'll give anybody $100 right off the bat if you could pronounce somebody from Thailand's name the first time. Our name, their names.
Yeah, exactly.
Cha-Cha's, that's her nickname. It's Chagrin Santa Panarex or something. It's very difficult. Traditions. They've heard about Christmas here.
Thanksgiving, Christmas.
They love it, but
Halloween. They all know about Halloween.
Yeah.
They don't understand it, why we do it. It's a pagan religion, but thing. But they want to partake in it. They could be 18 years old, and you can have a trick or treater at your door. But we have to explain to people they've never done this, and they're exchange students, and they would like to trick or treat.
Some of them are Christian, some of them aren't. We've had two. I think Danny officially was Buddhist. Cha-Cha's Buddhist, and they refer to. She can't wait for Christmas, but she calls it Christmas festival. We've had atheists, and most of them are Christian, though.
But they're very respectful of our religion.
Yeah.
And they will go to church, and they will be respectful, and they just appreciate everything that you do for them.
Foods. The Asians like
the rice.
Yeah, they eat rice, and it was through Danny that we figured out that Uncle Ben's really isn't rice. Did you know that? And so we learned how to cook rice and how to make sushi from Danny and
fried rice.
Yeah, Hannah, the Koreans have a different rice. They have sticky rice, so we got that. Then we had some left over, and Cha-Cha says, well, I don't like this Korean rice. I want Thailand rice. So they have to have, what's the name of it?
I can't remember.
I don't know. So we have big bags of rice.
Time, so if you can speed it up.
Oh, are we? Okay. Well, anyway, wealth. They consider us wealthy because when Danny came out, there was 6 cars in our driveway. He goes, wow, you guys are really wealthy. But there was several people. Jokes, I found out not every dad joke they get because, I'll say really good dad joke and they just look at me and blink. Shopping. They go into Walmart. It's like, ooh, it's like, wow. Cha-Cha told us that her parents are coming in January to California, and on the itinerary is Walmart trip, and they're excited for it. Homes. We are very, how do I want to say it? Danny says, you mean only one family lives here, or only one person? Or, when they showed us his bedroom, he was at all, and he showed us what it looked like where he sleeps, and it was a line of bunks, and they would sleep shoulder to shoulder. Cha-Cha's, their entire family sleeps in one room. That's mom, dad, 2 brothers, and an aunt. Vehicles. Liv saw a truck, and she walked up to it. She goes, these are so big. A pickup truck, I want one. So the governments, I don't care where you're at in the world, there's going to be the left, the right, and they're going to be bickering at each other. Propaganda. We see maybe Russians as being bad when they're not bad at all. And, Danny, we went to go visit Lisa's brother.
He's in the military, and he was afraid to get out of the car.
And he went running from him because he'd been told that U.S. military people are going to kill you. And laws, some people can drink at the age of 12. Some can smoke. None of them had ever, seen handguns and driving and different things. So what do they take out of this? Over here you can see this is we say grace at every meal. It doesn't matter if they're Buddhist, Christian, atheist, we do it. And that's the one, we have that plaque. Lisa found that somewhere. And bless the food before us, the family beside us, and the love between us. And they all learn that. And my favorite thing to do is take it off the wall so they can't look at it when it's their turn. We take turns. In the middle, the summer, we had 4 of our 10 that got to be together. So we had Mai, Liv, Hannah, Cha-Cha. And so 4 out of our 10 kids were actually together, along with the whole family. And this right here, you never know what their experience means. Can you see what that is? This right there, it says, have a good day, Marina, your American dad. I would slip little notes of encouragement into their lunch or into their coat pockets. She had a tattoo. She kept that, and she had a tattoo on her arm so she would never forget. So you never know how you're going to affect their lives. I didn't know how long we'd been up here. Anybody have any questions?
How long, the 2 that you have now, when did they come and how long will they be here?
They came in July, the end of July.
Maya came into July, yep.
And Cha-Cha, she came in August 1st sometime. But they'll be here for 10 months.
Okay,
Through the school year,
Yep.
yes.
So they'll graduate and then hightail it home.
You gonna keep doing this?
We'll probably take a break again, but yes,
It takes a lot of effort to do it because trying to keep up with them. We were driving yesterday, picking them up from the high school and waiting there in the parking lot because the 2 of them, one got there and
one
And
plays
then
volleyball,
gotta
the
make
other
sure
plays
you-
soccer, so you coordinate your times.
I have 3 kids and I can't do that.
Yeah.
yeah, so it takes quite a bit. And we have grandkids, we have
And our
families.
coordinator will help too. If we get
Yeah.
in a bind somehow, the coordinator that checks in with us every month, she'll come by and get them.
And I got to tell you, I don't care where they come from, a teenage girl
And a boy.
Or
Our
boy.
teenagers everywhere.
are exactly the same, full of drama, chasing each other, wanting, it's all the same, whether they're from France, Korea, well, Korean was a little different, but it doesn't matter where they come from. They're full of drama, but they're also full of a lot of love. It's, when they come in there, they say, "Good morning, Dad," and they give you a hug and say, "Thank you." Or their parents are saying, "Thank you for taking care of our kids." So actually what we're going to start doing is we're going to start traveling. We're going to Brazil first.
Yeah.
And then we're going to make our way down through Europe because, we can go from Denmark, Germany, France, Italy, over to Spain, and we always have a place to stay. And then in Asia, we have 3 countries to visit. Any other questions?
Do you have anybody from Cambodia?
Nope.
Not yet.
Yeah.
A lot of the countries don't send out their kids because they don't want them to come here. We haven't seen anybody from Africa
No, not yet.
or from the Eastern Bloc, except for the Latvian boy. But most of them are from Western Europe, Asia, Brazil. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I put something out there on the table just outside. You can take a look at it, and it's a plaque that we made. It says family, and then I had each one of the kids. We made stencil to where they put family in their language, and then we have pictures on the bottom. So. Sorry, I overdid it.